What sets Sementia farms apart from the usual local goat farm you walk into?
Yeah. Thousands of things. The breeds we have here are all meat breeds across. So at the moment, we only have goat and sheep. We are entering into other livestock in the next few months. We know that goats like to climb.
Exactly.
So first of all, the pen itself is elevated, so they like to climb and go and be up. They spend very little time in the pen. They only go there around 10 p.m.
How many goats is good for a starter person?
Yeah, so it depends on that startup. Some startup, and one thing though about farmers is when farmers come in and you tell them start small, they don't understand.
Talking about if you have an in-house vet or you bring one, I guess Sementia has an in-house vet.
Oh yes, we even have more than that. I mean, our vets we've sent them all the way to South Africa to go study and do the actual practicals to be able to come here, and that's why we're able to do artificial insemination here.
Okay, and the medicines or the vaccinations, where do you get them from?
So we get most of our vaccinations, some of the vaccines from Ghana, from the veterinary service. Those that we don't have there, we bring it straight from South Africa because these goats are coming from there. Right. So they know the kind of vaccines. But also certain viruses in South Africa are not here. Okay. So you have to decide which and which that you need here and what is there that you don't need. And so on.
These vaccines you inject these guys with, do you apply the same for our local goats you have here?
Oh yes, it's the same virus. When the virus comes, our local goats, they all die.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I mean, those of you who are goat farmers, maybe comment in the session. Let's hear from you. But I'll tell you, if you bring 10 goats into your farm and you confine them, I can promise you that you will lose at least 60% of them. Okay. Yes, our goats out there are dying, but nobody is just keeping track of it. Because we see them walking in the community, we think we have goats. Yes. Confine them and you see the amount of issues. Goats are known as the poor man's cow. Nobody cares about them. Right. People keep 10, 5, 6 in their house, and if at the end of the day they can sell one, they're even happy. Nobody's really tracking and running them and saying, this mother goat, I've kept it for 3 years. How many of the kids have I been able to sell to make money? And you see that it's probably one in the 3 years.
So they receive the same care just like the exotic ones.
When the virus comes, it doesn't know local and foreign. When COVID came, took everybody.
Of course.
You understand? So that's how viruses work. The locals can be immune to some of the worms that we have. But bacteria infection, viruses, no. Even the worms, there are so many different kinds of worms. Depending on what they're exposed to can kill them. Yeah.
I was taken to a lab. What has lab got to do with goat farm?
No, that's one of my favorite places to be. See, like I said, our mission is really to revolutionize the livestock farming, but we're starting with the genetic. If you don't have the right genetic, you can achieve your goal. If you're doing milk production and you start with a West African dwarf, how much milk are you going to get? I have a goat here that is producing me about 3 liters of milk every day for a goat. Because that goat's genetic is a milk production goat. So we start with the genetic. So the genetics, mostly, as we know, we don't have them in West Africa. So we have to bring them. Bringing these genetic can be very expensive. The easiest way for us to be able to spread that genetic is through a technology called artificial insemination. Which means that, so I have a goat here, Spider, who weighs about 110 kg. So if I tap Spider sperm, I'm able to get about 6 million cells. I'll be able to store that sperm for over 100 years. Yes, and
100 years?
Yes, and that sperm doesn't go bad. With that, I can tap twice every day. So imagine how many cells I'm getting. So with that, a farmer who doesn't have money to buy Spider's genetic can just buy a straw of sperm, and I can come and cross it with his local goat, the kid of that local goat is definitely going to be bigger than our normal local goats. Right. So that's the kind of experiment you're running here. On an average, when a West African goat gives birth, the kid weighs 0.3.
Okay.
We did this test and a West African goat gave birth and it weighs 3.7.
Does that mean you have a success story already?
Oh yes, we do.
Are you serious?
Actually,
you have an AI baby here?
It's called Eve. Yes, we do have an AI baby.
Okay, I'd love to see that.
Yes. And you can compare its age at 3 months to the actual West African dwarf and you see the difference. And that's just 50-50.
Okay.
Once that goat grows and we give birth, that kid is even going to be bigger.
Bigger.
And bigger and bigger. So what does that mean? That means that farmers now can rear their goat and sell it faster.
Okay.
And also more expensive because it's bigger. The West African goat is averagely about 27 kg. So if you can get a goat at 40 kg, 50 kg, if you're selling at 2,000, that means you can start selling at 4,000.
Okay.
So farmers will make money. And when people are making money from a business, it attracts more people into it. So
exactly.
That's the
Talking about attraction, how has the introduction of these exotic goats, farming or this molding system of goat farming, how has it changed the taste and of course investment direction? How is the response? You have been here for many years. How is the response like?
I mean, it's been mind-blowing. We have been importing these goats for the past 3 years now, and we cannot meet the demand, and that's why we're always calling on other farmers
to
join because we are still going to South Africa.
Okay.
Like, as I'm talking to you, we have an order of about 100 goats that we need to go and bring. This month alone, we have sold maybe about 16 goats. Kids at 3 months.
Are you serious?
Yeah, part gone. So that's why we don't have enough kids. So
I have to report you to the child support.
No, once you win a kid from the mother and is able to feed, it's good to go, and the price is cheaper for farmers as well. So quickly it will go. So the demand is huge, and my goal is that we're able to build enough farmers, successful farmers, to the point that when somebody wants this goat, they can just walk into your farm or come to our farm. We connect them to a farm and they can just buy. Because when we bring this goat from South Africa, number one, yes, a lot of work needs to put in place for them to adapt. Number two, the cost of purchasing it there, the freight, the duties, all of that makes it so expensive.
Okay.
So if we can breed it here, then it saves our economy. You know, we keep the money in here. We are not selling in dollars. We start selling in cedis and all of those good stuff.
Okay.
I was going through my TikTok. You know, the youth now is TikTok. It's TikTok we do it. And I had to Google on goat farm. And then the first search I had was on farming in Africa. And then another friend also recommended farming in Africa to me because he tried to start and then he failed. So he said, oh, I looked at these people. So you can also check them out. So I was always watching. So my advice is that as I'm doing, do same. I'm benefiting from it, so I also want you to benefit. So go to their YouTube channel, subscribe. You can have them on TikTok, LinkedIn, and Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you want to.
Now let's talk about the feed. What you give them.
Yeah.
Over here, I'll let you see. We have a lot of, you know, different rows that we are cultivating the Sementia grass.
Yes.
Is it something that grows all year? And also, I realized that you said they all don't feed in the same pen for multiple times. They feed here and then you move them. Why is that? And how do I care for my grass to always be green? To be feeding them.
So the reason why we actually chose, there's so many grasses and even plants. I mean, alfalfa, you know, there's so many out there. The reason why we chose the Sementia grass is because of it drought resistant.
Right.
So if you had come here in the dry season, you will see that the whole place is dry, but only this paddock is super green. Right, and that is because of its drought resistance. So it's very good during the dry season, especially in West Africa, for us to still continue to have feed. Obviously, you're not going to have it as fast as in the rainy season, but you still have it growing. Then the other thing is the nutrient. Right. So this has up to 18% protein, which is the second among all the grass group, and that's why we choose this. So, and again, we're also able to make hay out of this. But in this grass, they just graze on it. We have another land that we are cultivating for hay production and that we just cut, bale, and store it as hay.
Okay.
Here is for them to graze.
Right.
So here we give them 3 feed.
Okay.
Early in the morning, we'll give them the palletized feed. The reason why we give them palletized feed, like I said, is because that contains all the nutrients they need as goats. So they are not eating that to get full, but they are eating that because their body needs that. Then in the afternoon, when the sun comes up, we will open them to go into the grazing field, where they will go and graze for about 2 hours. Then they come back. Then from there, we'll just give them hay. And they will eat hay throughout the night till the next morning. Then the cycle continues. Okay. So that's how we feed them.
Right. Human capital. Every success company or business, there's a human factor in there. Yes. And I'm sure you're not doing this all by yourself. So for a startup person with about 10 goats who is hoping to expand, what are some of the key people I need? Is it a vet? Is it a farm manager? Who and who do I need? And how many is enough for me as a startup, apart from myself?
You know, like any business, if you're starting a farm, that means that from today you are an entrepreneur. And you need to embody everything like entrepreneur. You need to understand your business before you even... There's nothing in this farm that I haven't done. Okay. And there's nothing that I can do. Right. So personally, I treat this just like any business. So you need to understand it first. A vet is a must-have, but I know that most people cannot keep a vet at the farm. So you go into your either agric extension office, or you go into the vet's office and you seek for a veterinary that you can work with and call upon. You treat them well, you're kind to them, so that when you call them at any time, they are quick to come. Find the closest one and rely on them. Avoid changing vets, because then that brings a lot of issues. When you have one vet that is keeping track of your medication record and continuing the processes, it's much easier than different person coming and there is no continuity of the process, right? So that's very important. If you're a farmer and you can, get your medication, get your own syringe, get your own equipment, so that they don't bring equipment from outside. We try cutting down costs so many times that they use...
Cut the corners, you poke.
Right.
It's likely he's going to use it on another farm and bring it to your farm. So to avoid any infection, just get your own.
And there is even a syringe type for goats and for cattle. The needs to be different. Cattle are bigger, these are small ones. So if you're doing goats, you need to get all of these things, right? So get a part-time vet or somebody who can consult for you, and then get a farm manager. You want to get a farm manager that can read and write. Very important, because the medications, you need to read them and understand. He needs to be able to learn, because if you're running a business, you want to grow with the people. So he needs to be able to go on YouTube, watch videos like this, pick stuff from there, right? So don't put your investment in the hands of your cousin who didn't go to school because you think he's at home doing nothing. Right.
It's not advisable.
No. People go into farm and they fail, but they do all the things wrong that they don't do in their business. You say, oh, my auntie's son is sitting at home doing, come and work at the farm. What does the person know about farming? What impact or knowledge have you given to the person? You know, so these are some petty things, but get a proper farm manager. Go to Pont Tamale University. They have people that have studied agriculture that are coming out. Get one of them, pay them well, and they'll protect your investment if you want it to grow. Right, so a farm manager, and then as time goes on, you get a farm hand. Okay. So here at my farm, we have 3 farm managers. Okay. We have one in charge of vets, one in charge of nutrition, and one in charge of management. Right. Then we have 2 farm hands. And the farm hands are responsible for just doing the day-to-day cleaning and stuff. And the management person supervises them. So make sure the cleaning is done proper, this is done well. The feed, the nutritionist takes care of all the feed and so on. But if you're not up to that, you start with one, but then you learn together. And over time, you get more farm hands.
There's a concern from our diaspora brothers and sisters who want to invest, but their issue is trust, security, accountability. If someone watches this video and wants to invest in this, how would they keep check? Because someone comes once in a year, or someone might never even come in a year, but is hoping there is transparency in the investment. What do you advise?
again, I will say this again, it's not different from any other business. If you open a shop, if you're into real estate and you're not here and you have people there, you face the same challenge, because I think our workforce is one of our biggest downfall. And I'm saying this from experience. I mean, I've worked with so many people, I've hired so many people, and I think we need to do something about our workforce. I don't know if it's our education, if it's our culture, if it's the mindset, but it's terrible. So if you're gonna do that, then make sure that you first of all look for the best character traits. The honesty, the trust, you make sure that it's coming from a resourceful person. You know, work with them for a while. That's why you need to start small.
Right.
See if they can actually do this. You know, you start a poultry and you realize that you have to actually sleep there when your day old chick arrive. Somebody's not comfortable sleeping in a chicken coop, so he will leave you and go.
Exactly.
Somebody says, oh, the smell of goat poop, no, I can't do it.
I can't take it.
The next 2 days is gone. And you have 200 goats sitting there doing that. So you start small and you grow with these people. Obviously, it is bad, but I don't think everybody is bad. So take your time, find the right human capital that can work with you, understands your vision. A lot of advice to our folks out there is sometimes people here do not understand what your vision is. So you might sit in the UK and you're thinking about, oh, let me help my younger brother here in goat farming. He's there thinking, why don't you come take me to UK? He might not tell you that, but you should understand that the fact is he's here thinking, if goat farming is good, why don't you come and do it? And
you want me to be the one to take care of you.
So let's face the fact when we are approaching some of these things and be realistic and make sure that the people that are working with us understand the journey and where we're going so that they will be able to. And that's why we do training here. So we do like daily training, and we also have people who will bring their workers
to come and get trained,
stay here for like 3 months. We've had people from Salarion, Liberia, Nigeria live here and work with us. By doing this, you're able to know if this is really what you want to do or not. And the person is not right person, he will leave from this farm before he even comes to your farm.
What an insightful conversation. If you leave me, I'll do 2 hours. Because I'm just enjoying the conversation. But Fred, is it worth it? Leaving everything abroad? You were being paid monthly, get all the travel allowance, be a boss or a CEO, and let people report to you. You said, no, I want to do goat farming, wearing Wellington boots. Is it worth it? Because like you said, there is someone here just waiting for a brother to say, hey, go to the embassy, pick your visa, and come over. You decided to abandon everything and come and do this. Is it worth it? Has it paid off?
So I have 2 visions. Number 1 is to make an impact in the livestock industry. Number 2, to make money. Right. So when you say it is worth it, from the impact side, I'll say a big yes. Any farmer I train, any message that I get, anybody I'm able to inspire to contribute to our food security, to me, it's a huge success for me. In terms of the money, you need to be business oriented and strategize yourself. You need to diversify. You need to do different things. If I was doing the local goats, I wouldn't be able to answer that question. Because I will have to sell 200 goats to be able to make enough money for myself. And that is why strategically, I decided to go into the foreign breeding, which is more valuable, but the same amount of effort for me. So that makes that business make sense to me, right? So farming can work, but just like any business can fail or lose money, the same thing with farming. So are you a businessman? Do you have the right discipline, strategy, you know, money consciousness, managing money well to be able to run a business? If you can't, then farming is the same thing, you will fail. So to me, that second part too is yes, because over time I have been able to diversify, change strategies, and be able to sustain myself. Now in farming in Africa, we have about 44 staff. Yes.
You are doing well, my guy.
Yes. So if it is not doing well, we wouldn't be able to.
Of course, and I'm told you are in Nigeria now.
Yes, we are in Abuja and Lagos, and then in Uganda as well.
Oh, come on now.
Yes.
My guy, come on. That's great. There's a new government. There's a new administration. And our very own John Dumelo, who is also a farmer, is a deputy minister.
Yes.
What would be that call to action message? Me and you, we are doing our part. We are impacting, like you said. The profits is a gradual thing because we are still reinvesting and expanding. But what would be the call to action message to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to help make it better and bigger, like we are hoping to achieve? Because me and you can't do much. We can only do little. What should they be doing to help the agri industry?
I think agriculture should be an intentional effort. We need to be very intentional about what we're doing. And most of the time, I feel like, you know, some of our politicians are very far off from the reality. So they need to be on the ground and understand why the youth are really not doing this. What are the challenges they are facing, right? You go to every community, there is a land dedicated for school, for hospital, for park. Is there any land in any community that's dedicated for agriculture?
We have funeral center.
Exactly.
A place for funeral.
Right. So we can't sit on TV and say go into farming without really understanding the problems the youth are facing. We can't throw money at them and expect them to be able to just utilize it. There are so many value chain, right? We have accountants that are finishing university, architects. I have 2 architects in farming in Africa.
Wow.
What are they doing? They're designing farms and goat pen. But how many architects graduate and think about going into agriculture, right? So it needs to be a deliberate strategy to get the youths in there, not just to come and even do farming, but to come and support the farming infrastructures, right? And then we now start identifying the problems of land, problem of seed and genetic, then the funding, then the implementation, the services, the capacity building. There's so many things that goes into it. I know the government did, you know, railing for food and job, gave people sheep and goats. Where are they? So it's not enough. We can't just pick one and do it and make noise and gain traction and that's it. It doesn't work. So if we really want to do it, it starts with even the chiefs, making lands available, identify the youth and what kind of role they can play in agriculture, and then getting experts to be able to train and equip them with the right knowledge, with the right seed variety, so that they can get out there. And then there's the input aspect to be able to, so there's so much involved, but I'm hopeful and praying that, you know, our minister and deputy minister, and I know the president is also a farmer, so I'm excited. I was listening to the Ghana statistics and it seems like Ghana agriculture grew by 2.7%, but the highest growth was in livestock, which I'm very excited. So I think there is hope, and we are all looking up to them to be able to, you know, change the narrative and let the youth see it as not just words, but some action, and they are feeling it and they are being guided into what they can do.
What's the future looking like for Sementia Farms? In the next few years, when I come back, Nadia will be, I know. What's the future looking like for Sementia Farms?
I think the future is, again, like I said in the beginning, we are done with the goats now. So now we're moving towards other livestock. So we're going to be doing the pigs. We're going to rebuild our poultry. You know, we had about 10,000 capacity. We're going to be building again. And the goal, one, is to be able to create an environment where, as you're talking about the youth, if a youth want to go into pig farm, where does he go to learn the practical skills? We know that our schools have failed us. Where does he go to see how to even construct the pen that he's going to use? Where does he go to even understand the difference in genetics and the purpose they all serve? And that's what Sementia Farm wants to offer, right? Then I guess our next is to go more into feed, because no matter how good the genetic is, if you don't give it what it needs, you're not going to be able to achieve the potential of that goat or sheep or cattle. So I think capacity building, model farms, and nutrition it's gonna be the future for us.
Great, great, great. So guys, those of you have been calling me, I want to do goat farming, corn farming in Africa. I don't do goat, oh, please call him and he will be your best bet to help you become a successful goat farmer or livestock farmer. I've seen some sheep and they're about to introduce piggery and other things, poultry. So keep glued to their channel. Of course, follow them. Call Nadia will pick up your call and talk to you and help you to start your journey. Until then, thank you so much for spending time with me. But anytime you see Fred and you see me, we are doing our best to help change the narrative around agriculture here in Ghana.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.